Welcome to my time machine. I'm Glenn W. Worthington, and this is late March 2021. And we're going to watch an old videotape that I recorded in late March 1993. And my oldest son, Chuck Worthington, was with me in the video. We went out to Riley County, Kansas, because I lived in Kansas at the time. I had previously, in 1978, found 10 diamonds at the Crater Diamond State Park in Arkansas. But living back in Kansas, I still wanted to prospect, and I thought, could there be diamonds in Kansas? Well, I researched and found there are kimberlites in Kansas. And kimberlites are the volcanic material that hosts diamonds frequently. So I researched and I found there were 13 kimberlite pipes, kimberlite intrusions in Riley County, Kansas. That's just north of Manhattan, where Kansas State University is. So we got permission from one of the farmers to go out onto his field and dig and explore and check. I wanted to see if there were diamonds in this kimberlite. Now, I had read and studied that one professor, Brookings, Dr. Brookings, from KSU, had spent a couple of summers out there studying the volcanic intrusion, especially here at the Stockdale Intrusion, which is where we went in this video. And he determined there were no diamonds there because it came up too slowly, and all the diamonds that had been in it resorbed out of it. In other words, just turned to CO2 gas, and no diamonds were left when the volcanic material cooled. But the associated minerals were in there, and that is like spinel and diopside, and most importantly, pyrope garnet. And that is a pretty red, semi-precious gemstone. And I thought, well, I'm going to look and see if maybe this professor had it wrong and there actually are diamonds there. If not, I'm going to at least find some garnets. Well, one difference between the lamproites in Arkansas, or lamproites anywhere in the world, and kimberlites anywhere in the world, is that lamproites have a lot fewer and a lot smaller pyrope garnet. But kimberlite are abundant in garnet. And I thought, well, hey, I can at least find some garnets. And I did. In fact, here are a couple of garnets. These are made in earrings that my wife wears. And I thought I'd light it up so maybe you could see it. And then here, these garnets are in a ring that she wears. And anyway, these were excavated. You'll see us digging here in the video at the Stockdale Kimberlite Intrusion in Riley County, Kansas. Let's get it started and take a look at what we can see here. And this time machine has to come into focus.
We're in Riley County, Kansas, at the Stockdale Intrusion. There was a volcano here years ago. We'll take you down there and show you in a minute. But see this great 1993 plane that I'm driving? Well, this is my car. Our 11-year-old car broke down yesterday. And so that it didn't ruin our vacation, we rented a car and driving in style. But we have to park out here and walk way down over the hill. I don't know if it's a quarter mile, something like that. But the first thing way down there, just to give you an idea about how far we're going. But we're going to haul some equipment down there. We hauled some equipment down yesterday and had a little problem with the pump breaking down. But we filled containers like this, 6 of them, with gravelly mud that we hope there's garnets in there. And we won't know until we get back to Kansas City, wash it out better, and clean it up, sort through it. But for now, let's go down. I'll show you where the volcano is. It's about halfway to the volcano. You can see the car way up there in the distance. Just to give you an idea of how far from the road we really are. Pan around here a little bit and show you where we're digging just a little downstream from the volcano. See that fir tree right in the middle there? Yeah. All of our gear is right near that. And that's where we're digging. So we got a ways to go yet. It's quite a trip. The volcano is right along this fence line down there. We'll show you in a minute.
My time machine's a little fuzzy. We having trouble pulling it in from 28 years ago, but maybe we can make out some of this.
The Kimberlite. And this time of the year in the March, it's pretty wet with a spring in here. There's more water than usual. This used to be heaped up more than a foot higher, and it was dug out in, I believe it was 78, by a company looking for gems here, and they hauled a bunch of it off to Colorado for processing. But basically, this is the site. There's a little fence right here in front of me. They kept the cattle out while they were digging, while they were mining, and they hauled this off in trucks and hauled it over to the railroad station and hauled it in train cars to Colorado. But that's the Kimberlite, the volcanic rock right there, where Chuck was standing on this Kimberlite here by the fence line. And this is some more of the Kimberlite, and some, of course, is underwater. There's some large stones there. And then we're working on down the creek, thinking that the gems washed down, and you can see some of our dam that we built there by that. There's that little fir tree. There's the fir tree that we pointed out earlier, but we'll move down there to where we're actually mining now.
Here's the fir tree that we were looking at a while ago. Here's the hole we dug. We have to bail the water out because the water comes back up. So here's the dam right here. Here's another dam. Guess it didn't work too good because the water got through over here on that side and over there on that side. That's actually a pretty deep hole. I can demonstrate if you want. But deep hole.
Well, start stepping off in it. Well,
I forgot how deep is it?
it's too deep. We'll wait.
No, just give me that little thing and find out how deep this is. This will make a great video.
We'll show in a minute.
Alright.
The hole now, we bailed most of the water, and we have a pump running, and Chuck is washing off some big rocks. We pulled out a hole yesterday. He's washing it through a sieve. There's a half-inch screen. This big rock could be a trap and catch garnets, all heavy rocks that were washed down the creek bed. It would trap them because they couldn't get around it. But we want to wash it off real good and take home all that stuff. And the pump, of course, serves a dual purpose. It's battery powered, and the pump, we put it inside of a bucket with holes in it to keep from getting rocks in there. The dam is pumping now, keep the water level down. Container fills up. The water in any light mud and things like that go over the top, but the heavy rocks that we want are trapped in the bottom of that container. And up on the hill we have our other 6, now 7 containers of mud, gravelly mud that we want to take home. We used a cart to drag them up that hill, and hopefully we'll have a way of getting those out of here. It is such a long trip. But this is our setup here. And the pump messed up yesterday because a rock got in there and broke the impeller, but we glued it last night. Hopefully it will hold up. I'm going to go down and straighten the pump now. The hole, this is like a creek bed, and most of the year, part of the year it's dry creek bed, but right now we're battling with some water, which helps us in a way, but is also a hindrance too. But basically, the water's been eroding that volcano for years and dumping a deposit of rocks down here. The Kimberlite is a relatively light rock, and garnets are a dense or a heavy rock. And so the rocks we want, the garnets, have settled to the bottom. Well, this first, I'd say 16 inches is mud, silt, topsoil that's washed down here on the top. But from there on down, we've got a real gravelly rock layer. And we have dug to a depth right here, measuring to this board, of 33 inches, almost 3 feet deep. And what we hit is a wonderful find, what I was hoping for, solid rock bottom. This is like a concrete floor. I wish I could get all the water out of here to show you. I wish I could get all the water out of here so I could see it. But I'm able to run a shovel across this flat surface and scoop up all this gravel. And this is the best stuff, the choice stuff, the gravel right off of the bottom of here. And what we want to do the rest of the day, we dug this hole yesterday on Monday, March 22nd, 93, and Chuck and I did. And now we want to dig down here, get this mud thrown away. That's what we built the dam out of, was this mud on the top that we don't want to haul back to Kansas City. And get down to that gravel layer and load it up in buckets and containers so we can haul it back home to wash again through a series of streams. Hopefully we can show you that all set up in Kansas City later. But right now what we're wanting to do is get down to that gravel layer, and if we can get enough room in here to swing a mattox, we'll dig back in that overflow surface. Just take that layer of gravel right off of this hard floor in here, and that's what we want. If we can reach back in there and take that choice gravel out, then it'll save digging off all this heavy mud. So I guess it's time to get to work. By the sound of geese flying over, yesterday there were several flocks. I lost it. There we are. Pretty good formed V there. No phones, no fax machines, no computers, no mail. Only sound is geese flying over. Pretty neat.
What a day. Your dad's armpits ripping too.
Here I am standing down in the hole. This is the water that we have dammed up, and this washes all down this ravine over there. That's where the volcano actually was. We're a couple hundred feet from the fence line, which sort of is a center mark for the intrusion, for the volcanic activity, the pipe of the volcano. Chuck is standing here by the hip boots we borrowed from Dave and Don Van Landingham. Try out that water there. Very as deep as the water as we've gotten into, that we don't get wet. Because it's fairly cold out here. Yesterday it was in the 40s. Today it's supposed to be higher 50s. Tomorrow in the 60s. But when we came this morning, we had a container of rocks and water, and there was ice in the container, so it got freezing cold last night. But it's supposed to warm up later in the week. And the sun's supposed to be out this afternoon. So a couple hours later, we got quite a bit bigger hole dug there, a lot wider, and so far we've thrown away everything on the left because it's mainly silt, mud, topsoil, and not the choicest gravel. We're limited on the number of containers that we have that we can haul back, so we're only going to take the choicest gravel right off the basement floor there. So we're about to get down to where we'll want to save the good gravel in buckets and containers.
That's the way. There's dirt.
Appropriate to bring to you the latest fashion in mining wear. This is actually a very thin garment. It used to be white. Now it's brown, and it's very thin. It used to have a jacket under there and a flannel shirt, but those have been shed now because it's hot. It's getting warmer. The sun's out.
This slowly turn around.
Now, it does rip out from time to time. It does keep
So slow down, go back.
It does keep the bulk of the mud off. And then I have boots. About here.
What style?
That's beautiful. Now, for the real fashionable, you have to go to the teenage wear.
Oh wait, you forgot your hat, your gloves.
Oh yeah, the
gloves. Oh, I got some over here. Wow, look at those gloves. Oh, I can see my shadow. Full pants, boots. Starting to get muddy. Well,
how do you dance in those pants?
like this.
That's a while.
That's
A great fit.
You got this old army surplus jacket and a bandana to keep all the bugs out of our hair. And then I had some really cool gloves like those. And the boots.
I like the mud splatter effect.
Yeah, mud splatter is the newest thing. Here, especially right there.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And the boots are attached to this. These are kind of like waders. Pull them all the way up to here.
Wonderful.
Time.
Lovely. Okay.
Circle.
This is a little battery-powered pump that we've been using. It runs off that car battery there. Had a little trouble with it yesterday morning. A rock got caught in the propeller the first 5 minutes we tried to use it. So since then we wasted a bucket here. We punched holes in it and we use it to kind of keep the rocks away from the impeller of the pump. But last night we couldn't find a replacement impeller to buy that would fit that little pump. So we super glued it and it's holding up. It's worked for quite a while. We've got dug down here to a fantastic depth. I don't know if you can see the solid rock ledge right here, but this is basement. This is solid, and I've only got like another inch over here of just a little bit of water, but the pump's been helping us, and then we bail some out too. But Chuck has gotten in here with the pick and dug this all back in here, and this is the great stuff because we're digging down right to solid foundation, solid rock, and scooping out what he picks out. And that way we don't have to mess with all this overburden. We just dig back in this way. And our plans are to dig out this step here, take all this, because it's good gravelly stuff, and clean it down all the way around to the basement level and take that back. But we're standing on solid rock. Let me show you here. I don't know if you can hear that. That's all solid foundation. We're down to the bedrock. That's where we want to be, and we ought to find the gem sitting right on top of that, within a couple inches, 2 to 6 inches on top of that bedrock. We're doing 2 things at once right now. We got here, this is Wednesday morning, I guess March 24th, 93, and we had a lot of water in the hole, and we got the battery-powered pump going. But last night while we had all the water out of the hole, we filled these buckets with mud, and now we're putting it on this half-inch screen, and I'm washing all this gravel off. And Chuck, come here and get a look at the gravel a little bit. There's a half-inch screen, and in other words, anything half-inch diameter or smaller will fall through this screen. But the bigger rocks are caught in the screen. We don't want to take those home. If it was a garnet that size, we could spot it real easily. But this water erosion is working in our favor. It washes off the rock. That way, if any garnets are encased in a mud clump right up against the rock that would stay on the bottom of the creek or something, we'll wash the garnet on through into this gray container that we're going to take home with us. We're not only taking these big rocks out that we don't want to haul back to Kansas City, but we're also washing out a bunch of mud silt. It goes out with the water over the edge here. And the water is diverted off into a different area to go on down the creek. And it doesn't go back into our hole. So we've washed out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buckets already this morning, and we only have halfway to the bottom of the hole. There's a lot of water left in there. But we're doing two things at once, emptying the hole, and we're washing these rocks off, kind of separating the good from the bad. And I just want to take a shot of the hole, the pump's running over there.
I don't know how many zero paint the pipe that sucks the water in.
That board's just floating in there.
Yeah. Good old dad.
Whoops.
And there it falls in.
Little action shot.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how many feet this pump has to lift that water, but probably about 8 feet by the time you get up to the screen level there. And it moves a lot of water. This is an 1.25 inch hose. And there's quite a volume of water pouring out of there. The specifications on the pump said 15 gallons a minute. And I'm glad I don't have to bail all that. I'd be worn out and no good by the time we got the water out of the hole. Okay, turn it off now. Chuck's down in the hole picking away at the side. I've got a garnet I'm holding on to that he found a few minutes ago. He saw down in the hole in a clump of mud. He's digging into the side right along the basement, the solid flooring there, and we'll scoop it up in buckets and wash it pretty soon.
All rock in here.
Yeah. There's a lot of rock that we aren't taking back to Kansas City with us. This big one here is a good trap. It was sitting right on the solid floor of the creek bed. And, yeah. And it probably trapped garnets and anything heavy that we might be looking for.
Nothing worse than now.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah.
Filling the hole in. Don't want a cow to get stuck. Wouldn't want Chuck to fall off in there either.
What?
Never mind.
Right, cowboy, huh?
Oh yeah, we put that piece of wood in there. Hey, you're sputtering.
Try not to.
Okay.
Down! Really balanced, huh?
Uh-huh. It's gonna take a while to fill in that hole. It'll take a while to fill in the hole.
Yeah.
It was 7 foot by 5.5 feet at the bottom. Chuck had chipped into the sides of it. That's a pretty fair sized hole. Good.
I'm getting drowned!
You're spraying mud. Spraying mud all the way over here at me.
I can fall in and make a finish on video.
Let's not.
Okay.
I couldn't get you out. We've got some rocks to push in. And some more of that mud. Yeah, I better go up here. We're back in Kansas City. We were able to get a farmer talked into driving his pickup truck down the field.
We'll stop our time machine there for now, and we'll pick it up later. We'll go to Kansas City and show you how we washed the gravel and what we found looking for garnets.